Hello there, I'm Ken.
And I'm Jacques.
And you're watching Celt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen. We've done some spectacular work here on C Cubed, and most times I know exactly what I'm doing.
Even if it does not look like it.
But sometimes I have one shot to get a recipe right, and today we're showing you just such an episode with broccoli beef. An episode wherein I bought a roast that was so expensive I had to get the recipe right in one go.
And even then, you have made some cataclysmic failures. Like forgetting rice in an Asian dish.
Be that as it may, you're watching broccoli beef. Thus far our most complicated, time-consuming, expensive, but delicious dish thus far. Alrighty, so we're going to start with beef. You can use almost any cut of beef. I used a flank steak.
Because you listened to the butcher, who sold you a line and cut les os de la tête.
Aye, it cost me the eyesight in my head, I know. Regardless of the cut you use, take a knife and do your best Norman Bates impersonation. We're going to make a marinade, and those holes in the beef are going to let the marinade seep in.
Start your marinade with 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, followed by a spritz of lemon juice, and a tablespoon of garlic.
Next, get out your cups and measure 1/2 cup of soy sauce. You can use more, but it will have no effect on the flavour or a match. Then we'll add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Is that right, Jacques? Dijon?
Oui, ça marche.
Alrighty, good to hear. Then we'll take out our spoons and we'll measure about 3 teaspoons of Worcestershire. And then we'll maybe squirt a teaspoon or 2 of sriracha.
We should also add a tablespoon of sweet chili sauce and some black pepper. And to top it off, we shall add some red chili flakes for spice.
Seal your bag and mash it all up together. This will sit in our fridge for about a day. Did you know a Scotsman invented the refrigerator, Jacques?
As always, I do not care.
Fine, you sleek it no user. Have your own way. After a day of sitting, your meat will be tender, tasty, and smell amazing. You'll want to be cutting it. You see those lines though? Cut perpendicular to those lines.
Sacre bleu! You've used a 5-syllable word. Good for you.
Away with you Manky Nade. I'll not be using the whole roast, maybe only 1/3 of it. So this wound up being more than enough food for one person, so you can feed at least 2 people with it.
3 people if you had boiled rice or made noodles.
I know. Alrighty, so we'll heat up a skillet, and as always we're going to pour some oil into it, swirl it around and let it get hot. While we're waiting for that to get hot, we'll just be peeling an onion. Oh, but you see that nasty bit right there? That's actually part of the onion itself. You can't peel it off, you have to cut it this way. And then we'll just do it a good cut. Then you use bits of food that have gone off. I'm just going to cut thin strips of the onion for your meal.
You know, you always show this part of you cutting the onion.
Aye, see I like how I cut an onion. It's so thin. Next, take some mushrooms. As you can see, these are on the verge of going off, so I got them for an incredible deal. As long as you cook your food before they start to smell like fish, mushrooms are going to be fine.
It is accepted in cooking circles that if a food smells like a fish and is not a fish, it should not be eaten.
Aye, well, get your veg and give it a quick fry. It's best to fry your veg before you do your meal. You let it sit for a while, let it cook for a couple of minutes, so it gets nice and tender. And while that happens, you give it a dash of salt, a bit of soy sauce, we'll sprinkle in some garlic, and sweet chili sauce into it as well. So you want all this so that it tastes very similar to our meat, without having to, do some weird flavour manipulations here. Stir it around a wee bit and let it percolate for another minute or 2. Then we'll add some Worcester sauce to it. Sriracha sauce.
Afterwards, we'll be doing a quick sear of our meat. If the pan and oil are hot, it takes no time at all to cook these thin strips. Ken had cooked his meat before his vegetables, and the meat was overcooked and hard by the time he got to eat it. So in the editing, I switched the order to better suit proper cooking techniques.
To make sure your flavours properly mingle, mix your meats and vegetables together. Let it sit for no longer than a minute. It's more important that your meat be tender.
And at this point, you are ready to plate. However, if you have made rice, you can stretch this meal between 3 or more people. Remember, you are trying to be economical here.
And that's broccoli beef. A lovely recipe, eh, Jacques?
Mais oui, monsieur. Of course, as always, you stumble on the preparation, but the execution of this dish looks divine.
Well, thank you. And as for you, you're watching Celt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen. Cheery bye.
Bonsoir.